to the beat of a spin of a revolver's barrel. BPM, bullets per minute, released on September 15, 2020 on Steam, the Xbox One, and the PS4, and cost $19.99. The game mashes up together the rhythm genre with a classic FPS to a good, but not great result. Don't get me wrong, there is a joy in the basic systems of dodging, firing, and reloading to the beat, where if you fail to go to the beat, your action won't work. This does take a little bit getting used to, as strictly letting muscle memory take over from your old FPS days will result in failure after failure. Little by little, you will adjust to the rhythm and start enjoying yourself, firing on half beats and dodging in time, taking advantage of the purposefully limited yet competent enough AI that can hit hard given the right opportunity. Variety here is good in terms of weaponry and power-ups, and they can lead to some unique runs along with the character that you start up as. Guns in particular, like having to reload all the shells in a powerful revolver, is the main meat of your strategy and how you will deal with all these enemies. And frankly, that's the best part of the game, trying to figure out how to best use your tools to your advantage. I just wish that the music had more variety over time. The music written for this game is great, but when you're replaying the first level over again for the 40th time, you really feel like the rhythm part of the game could have really branched out with some different songs and beats per minute to change up the experience. However, the biggest negative that BPM brings to the table is its visual presentation. While I appreciate the dedication of attempting to capture some of the dungeon-like aesthetics of 90s shooters that I grew up with, I can't disregard an element that I do believe came from the game's limited budget and not from a design perspective. Dev, I appreciate the saturation settings to try to deal with each of the level's different problems, but when the lighting settings seem to have the choices of everything is very dim to oh god, the surface of the sun is blinding me right now, it can lead to major gameplay affecting problems. Either enemies will blend into the background when it's obvious that they aren't trying to stealth attack you, or projectiles will literally blind you if you turn around in the right way. All the visual elements of this game end up being frustrating. The biggest sin is the UI that tells you the beats in the middle of the screen, which has helpful indicators, but I can't notice them half the time because they don't pop at all in the middle of the chaos. Specifically, if you're facing an enemy for the first time, you may get an indicator that you have to perform some action, and good luck trying to see that against everything else, especially with the game not teaching you it until it's too late. I harp on those elements specifically because I think the game will turn away many players in the early going because of the lack of clarity with the game's mechanics, and they won't get to experience some of the major highs due to that frustration factor. In particular, the stat categories can lead to major fun with absolutely hilarious builds such as supersonic racing or an overly powered rocket launcher. In the end, BPM has this weird distinction of being a game that you should play at some point for its unique take on rhythm and FPS games, but has a negative that drags down the experience in such a way that you can only do so much to hide it. That's why the game earns a 75 out of 100 for me, which means it's a buy for those who love either of these genres and who are willing to take a shot on it, but it's a sale title for most others. But of course, take into account my enhancer system, which uses score modifiers to add or subtract to the main score if you fall strongly into any one of those categories. If the first digit of your score changes after the adjustment, refer to this chart to tell where the game lies in the buyability range for you. If you want a little bit more detail, you can watch my investigation stream which I go over a little bit more detail, or you can join the Discord below and I will answer your questions directly. Expect more 5-minute reviews going forward, and if you want more content like this, hit that subscribe button. This is Dragnix signing out. And as always, keep on gaming.